y'all, Karen here with Shemp Dairy Goats. Remember in the last video that I told you guys that we were going to do some canning videos? Well, that day is here. So today we are going to try our hand at canning some french fries, and even later today I'm going to go and I'm going to fill up some potatoes, and we are going to try to can some fried potatoes too. So that way whenever time comes, you just take your jars, you dump the stuff out, and you go do whatever you need to do with it. Okay, so let me run you a little backstop here. One day this past week, my mom and dad went out and they were digging up potatoes. Dad got out there on the tractor, boom, 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 got them up. Mom went out there and she was picking them up as he was going through. So we've got that done. They took those, they put those on the trailer. You kind of want to let them air out a little bit, because if you don't let them air out, that's why when you go to the store, you get bags of potatoes that are rotten, for lack of a better word, because they didn't have the time to dry out and they got all mushy. They got in there clustered up together and they essentially went bad. Okay, so we left our potatoes out on the trailer for a couple of days. Yesterday, I did not show you guys this, but yesterday what we did was we went and we peeled up our potatoes. We did it outside. It was a beautiful day outside yesterday. We went outside, peeled our little potatoes, stuck them in some water, and today's canning day. So I'm going to show you the little setup that we have going on. You don't necessarily have to do it like that if you don't want to, or if you're just here watching, hi, glad to have you. I'm going to show you our little setup, what we're going to do. Now, if you may have already noticed, we are in a different kitchen. This is not my kitchen. This is my mom's kitchen. Love it, by the way. So let me show you guys how the setup we have going and here's going, and what we're going to do and how we're going to can these fries. So my mom has this island bar, which I absolutely love. Wish I could put one in my house, but I kind of can't. We have like a little peninsula bar, but it works. Okay, so the first thing you're going to need to do is you're going to take your jars and you're going to make sure your jars are good and clean. My mom ran these through her dishwasher. I do not have a dishwasher, so I would have had to hand wash these and sterilize these all by hand. That would have been kind of rough. But anyways, so you want to make sure that you use the wide mouth rim jars on this, because it's going to make it a lot easier packing and unpacking these jars when time comes to do that. Make sure when you start you have all of your jars clean. Okay, so we're going to set that over to the side. We have jars, we have lids. Now we also, this right here is where we have potatoes. This is where we peeled our potatoes yesterday and we stuck them in this water in this big, large, giant, what's this thing called? Big metal number 3 tub. Okay, so we're going to take this right here. Well, we're not going to use this one right now because it's got a bad spot in it. So you're going to take your little potatoes right here. And here we bought a french fry cutter off Amazon. I will link it in the comments below or in the description below. So that way, in case you're interested, if you like the way this thing works, we're going to cut our potatoes and put them over here in this tub. In this tub, we have our already cut french fries where we've already been cutting some. We've already got some canning. So we're going to take our potatoes, we're going to cut these, and then we're going to show you how to pack the jars. Okay, so we have our potato in here. We're going to go ahead and slice it up. We're going to put it over here, and then we're going to pack our jars. Great. Okay, potatoes going to come out. We're going to stick them over here. We're kind of going to clean all this off because, well, we're just going to clean it off. Okay, so remember that jar I showed you guys a while ago? We're going to take our little jar right here. You're going to turn your jar sideways because, well, quite frankly, it just makes it easier to get your potatoes in. So we're going to take them and you're going to put them in sideways. That way we can fit as many as we can. These things, because since they are hard, it's impossible to get the air bubbles out. So you're going to want to pack them as tight as you can possibly get them in here. So we've got our jar packed about as good as we're going to be able to pack it. You want to kind of keep it below this ring right here because we're going to fill water up to this ring. So make sure when you put it, now if it sticks out just a little bit, that's not a great big deal, but you kind of want to keep it in and down below this ring right here. Okay, let's go put water in our jar. Okay, so we're gonna put like lukewarm water in our jars. I don't really know why, but that's just what we're gonna do. Okay, so remember where I told you guys where you were gonna fill it up to? That's what we did. I don't really think the camera's gonna focus on it, but we're filled up to this ring right here. The next thing we're gonna do is we are going to come over here and we are going to get some of our trusty canning salt. Now, depending on where you are, this stuff is almost impossible to find. But any kind of kosher salt will work. Just make sure when you're reading the description of the salt that it tells you that it can be used for brining, because that's pretty much what you're doing, canning and brining. Okay, so we're gonna take our little tablespoon here of salt. Or no, it's a teaspoon of salt, right? Teaspoon. My bad. We're gonna take this teaspoon of salt and we're gonna put it in our jar. Yay. Okay, so we're gonna put this back so we don't lose it. And the next thing you're gonna do is you're gonna take a paper towel and the rim of the jar, you're gonna go ahead and you're gonna wipe that down like so. Okay, so what's that for, you may ask? That is because we don't want any salt or anything on the rim of the jar, because if there's anything on the rim of the jar, it will compromise your seal. So if your jar does not seal, you need to take that bad boy and you need to put him in the refrigerator and use him within a couple of days. Because if you don't, that's how bacteria sets up in these things. And sometimes they come unpopped for any reason. But that's one of the things we're going to cover in a minute, is the checking of the seals. Okay, so we've got that right there done. Hold on just a second, and I'm going to go and I'm going to grab a top and we're going to put that top on. So here's our top that we have, the seal and that. So we're going to put that on this jar. And right now, this jar is just waiting to go in the pressure canner. Show you guys the pressure canner that we're going to use. Well, yeah, like this one. Okay, so this is the pressure canner. This is like the pressure canner that we're going to use. My mom also has this one over here. We're not going to worry too much about that one because we're not going to use one like that. I don't even know how to use one like that. So we're going to use this little one right here. Okay, so in order to use it, now keep in mind we're in Tennessee. I will need a 10-pound weight because of my altitude. I can fit 7 quarts into a pressure canner like this right here. I believe this is a 23, 24 quart canner. I can fit 7 quarts in there, and that's what we're canning with today. We're canning with quarts. Now, if you're running pints, you're only going to pressure can for 30 minutes. We're running quarts, so we're going to pressure can for 35 minutes. So we're going to wait. We're going to let what's in this pressure canner come out, and we're going to show you what it looks like when it's all said and done. And sometime later, we are also going to open them up. We're going to try them, and we're going to let you guys know what they taste like. So hold tight, stay with me, and we'll be back in just a minute. Okay, a little bit different change of scenery for you guys. Thought you might want to do a little something different. We are back in our kitchen. So I wanted to show you guys the pressure cooker we used, and I kind of wanted to give you a little bit of heads up on some of the things that you needed to do for that. And then here in just a minute, once some of the pressure comes down off this cooker, we're going to take these french fries out and we're going to look and we're going to see what they look like after the fact. Okay, so behind us here, we have our pressure cooker. This is the one we use to pressure can our, well, pressure canner, not pressure cooker. This is the pressure canner that we used for our potatoes. You can still, I don't know if you can see it, but right here my little thing is up, so it still has a good bit of pressure on it, so we cannot get that out yet. But what we do when we started these, actually I was taking care of the baby and Aaron started these for me. You add 3 quarts, and what we used earlier, this is a quart jar. You add 3 quarts of water to the pressure canner, and Aaron added how much vinegar?
About a teaspoon, tablespoon.
And he added about a tablespoon of vinegar to keep the jars from getting cloudy, because if you've ever pressure canned anything, then you know that a lot of times when you get done with your pressure canning that there is some cloudiness to the jar, and sometimes that's kind of hard to wash off. So, and I guess that's from the pressure. So anyways, that's what we've done here, and we've got some little jars right here that we're getting ready to put some different potatoes up in. The way Aaron cut them up, we're probably going to make fried potatoes out of those. I'm not really sure yet. Either that or stewed potatoes. So stay with me, and in just a second we're going to pull the top off this pressure canner and we're going to see what's in the pressure canner. So I've got my trusty sidekick over here, right there, actually the one who's been doing this stuff. So I'm going to let him get these jars out and we're going to see what they look like. Here we go. I don't think that's how you're supposed to do that.
A little hot right there.
It's just a little warm. Yeah. So you see how everything fits in here. There are my 7 jars. Now this right here is our special tool, the one he just grabbed, is what he's going to use to get them out. So forgive my little mess over here. This is my little canning section and my baby bottle station. But this is what the finished product looks like on here. One of the main things you're going to wait to do is you want to hear a pop, because when you pop, that means that right here these seals are going to pop down. Do not ever, I made this mistake one time and it was one of the biggest mistakes of my life, but I intentionally popped the seal down on my own, thinking that if I went on and I popped it down it would work and it would do better and it would automatically seal. It did not seal, and when we opened it up the food was bad. So don't ever pop the seals. Listen to them to pop on their own. If they do not pop, if they do not pop down, if you cannot, once those jars cool, if you put your finger on the top and you can pop it on your own, do not use it. Put it in the refrigerator and, well, do not store it. If it does not pop, do not store it. Make sure you put it in the refrigerator and you use it, preferably, I would say within 3 days, but I mean, whatever. However long you leave your food in the refrigerator for, I do everything within a 3-day time limit. So, alright guys, that is how, everything that we have covered in this video is exactly how we can French fries. Now, I don't know how well this is going to work going forward. I haven't tasted them coming out of here, but when I do cook them up, we'll let you guys know. Alright, love you guys. See you guys in the next video. Bye.